Today here on Blue Shift Ministries, we're going to talk about Chief Prince Saint Raphael. Chief Prince Saint Raphael is not only a collector of information, but he's also a healer, and he helps travelers in their journeys. The story of Tobis and Saint Raphael. Tobis' father was laying upon under a tree where the bird's droppings just fell on his face and eyes, and it seemed to give him an allergic reaction and cause him to go blind. The family was suffering from financial conundrum, and he remembered that he had a debt owed to him from a Persian man, from Media. So he told his son about it. His son said, "I'll go and collect it," to bring it back home to him. But he didn't know the way to Media. But then Saint Raphael appeared to him. He said, "What is your name?" He says, "Raphael." Saint Raphael guided him upon the way, the valley, the river, and the waters. And as they crossed the waters and the river, there was a fish that entangled Tobis, and he thought it was a monstrous fish, and it wasn't. And he looked at Saint Raphael and said, "Why didn't you help me?" He said, "There was no harm done. I told you to use your staff, and you did." And he whacked the fish, and he took it. He said, "Take the scales and the eyes." So they went to Media and collected, and there he saw a woman, Sarah, and fell in love with her. But that woman, Sarah, had a curse on her, and every time she married, she would lose her husband. The very next day, the husband would die. And Tobis looked at her and said, "Why does this happen?" And she told him that there was a demon that fell in love with her, and every time she get married, he would kill the man she's with. He told Saint Raphael about it, and Raphael said to him, "Take the scales of the fish, and upon the night when the demon arrives, you burn it, so he smells the air of it." And as the demon came and smelled the air of it, the demon seemed to shrink away and wither away and die. And the curse was broken. So he married Sarah, and they went back home to return the money to the father. And then Saint Raphael said to him, "Take the eyes of the fish and turn it into a paste and rub upon his eyes." And that cured his blindness. The part of the story is we must be careful on what tree we sleep under. We must be careful of what I took away from the story anyway. We must be careful of anything that is umbrellaing us. When there's an umbrella on top of us, it can give us poison and toxins to our bodies. The second part of the story I took away was we must always collect our debts. We must always pay our debts. The Persian man from Tobis' father, he paid his debt, and he went to collect it. Another thing I took away from the story is that when we travel somewhere and we don't know where we're going, we must focus and pray to Father to show us the way, and he would choose a champion from heaven to guide us. In this case, it was Saint Raphael. Upon the waters in the valley and the river, there are cures for our ailments. The cod has healing properties, and Saint Raphael knew this. I believe that's why he took Tobis in that way, so he can find the cure for his father's blindness. That's why we always follow the Father, because we don't know what beautiful hidden treasures and surprises he has for us, that if we just shut up and listen to him and follow, we can find cures for diseases that perhaps we wouldn't have found if we didn't follow Father, that if we didn't have blind trust. That's why we live by faith and not by sight. And that's how he found the cure to break the curse of the woman and to heal the blindness of his father and collect the debt. And at the end, a father received his sight, a wife received a husband, and the son lived happily ever after with his family. Amen. Believe in Jesus always. Amen.